Cardinals going for a series win this morning. Welcome on in. It's baseball for breakfast version of Cards Hub 365. Joe Roderick, Matt Rocchio with you as the Cardinals and Pirates get ready for an 11:35 a.m. start time out in Pittsburgh, looking to capture the series after defeating Paul Skeens yesterday. You heard all about it in the postgame show with Brendan and Sarah. But just quick thoughts from last night's game, Rock. I said during 365 yesterday with Stephen Carey that I felt 6 batters into the game, I think we would have been able to see what the approach was, like Brant Brown's approach for the team. And I think maybe it took a little longer than that. It took till the second time through the order. But I think we're back on the Brant Brown train with the approach and the way that he is coaching up the hitters of this team to attack pitching.
Was there a stop on the train? I didn't know there was a stop on the Brant Brown train.
I mean, they lost 4 games in a row, and we hated everybody.
It wasn't the offense. It wasn't the offense's fault they were losing those games.
No, I wanted to see that against a really good pitcher like Paul Skeens, and I'm glad that we did see that last night. And I think that this is one of those, for as down as people got over the 4 games skid that they were just on, there are so many positives that we can keep building on 10 games into the year.
See, I'm actually down after that game because, Brant Brown's not that special. The Cardinals beat Paul Skeens twice last year.
Right.
So, the offense clearly isn't improving that much. I'm not giving that much credit to Brant Brown. Come on now. How about the pitching? Sonny Gray, what an ace.
That's yesterday. I also mentioned this too, that Sonny Gray, you go and you sign a guy like Sonny Gray to stop 4-game losing streaks, to stop 2-game losing streaks, that when you have a pitcher like a Sonny Gray in your rotation, that he is signed to go out there and be that streak stopper. And that was something that before Sonny Gray, the Cardinals, they were missing out on. They were missing out on in 23. Adam Wainwright's last year. They didn't have that top of the line guy to go out there and do that, which is why they went and spent the money on Sonny Gray.
And I think the line here, and Randy Carricker is off camera to the side, and he can yell at me if I'm wrong here. But I think this is the line between a guy being a ace in Major League Baseball and a guy being your number one. And Sonny Gray might not be an ace in baseball, but for your number one, he has to be, to your point, a streak stopper.
Yeah.
And Sonny Gray might not cross the line to that ace tier, as a lot of people think. We get a lot of comments whenever people refer to Sonny Gray as the ace of the Cardinals. What they're saying is he's the number one pitcher on the Cardinals. But, man, people are semantically opposed to that statement. And so to hear it the way you're putting it, a streak stopper, I think that's what they need from Sonny Gray, and that's what they got from him yesterday.
And yeah, last night in that game, it's just, you mentioned it. Paul Skeens beat twice last year by the Cardinals, and then last night, Cardinals first team to score 5 runs against Paul Skeens. And I look at it this way. You went Bud Norris's entire career of him dominating you, and when you looked at the probable starters and you saw Bud Norris's name on there,
yes, okay.
You were like, shit, it's Bud Norris. And now I think Paul Skeens, for the rest of his career, he's going to look, and he's like, pitching against the Cardinals this week, damn it.
You're not asking the real opinion. Is Paul Skeens too worried about GQ covers and Livy Dunn to be a good baseball pitcher? I think that's the question we have to start asking ourselves.
The Cardinals are his kryptonite.
Is he
it's
focused
a case
on the game?
At some point in his career, he's going to come here to St. Louis and join the team.
Oh God,
that's what's going to happen.
That or
Carlos Beltran couldn't beat the Cardinals, so he joined them, and now Skeens at some point will be wearing the Cardinal red.
I think you're missing the part.
30 years from now, red jacket.
I think you're missing the part where he goes to a huge market before coming to St. Louis. I think that's the factor in the Beltran thing you forgot. He went to the New York Mets before he came to St. Louis. Paul Skeens, you have to get him to LA, Chicago, New York, or I guess we'll throw in Florida.
Okay, well, don't mention Chicago because you know damn well the White Sox aren't paying for him. So that would mean
what team I'm talking about.
That
you know what team I'm referring
to. Division.
Sorry about it.
So Cardinals win last night. They have Mitch Keller this afternoon that they'll be facing. Eric Fetty on the mound for the Cardinals. There is your lineup up on the screen. Lars Nootbaar in right, Wilson Contreras DHing, Brendan Donovan in left, Nolan Arenado at third, Alec Burleson at first, Pedro Pages is catching, Victor Scott batting seventh in center field, Thomas Ajacey is at second, and Mason Wynn is at short with Eric Fetty on the mound. You gave a look there. What was that?
I guess I'm just surprised that the first game we see Lars Nootbaar in right field, Donovan's the lefty.
Donovan's left field, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm surprised that isn't being used to put Burleson in left field, maybe maybe this is a future move we see, once Gorman is healthy and things like that, because they got Contreras at DH and those kind of things. I'm just saying that if I would have put money on it, the first right field start for Nootbaar, I would have put money that it was a left field start for Alec Burleson. Is it his first right field start?
It's his first right field start.
I mean, it's not his first one, but I guess I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Overall, that when I see right field Nootbaar, because it's been so much Victor Scott in center field, and there's been so much pivoting late in the game with Michael Ciani. We see Lars Nootbaar leadoff spot left field, overwhelming majority of the games. I just that jumped out to me right out of the gate, and also Wilson Contreras still batting second. They moved him to the DH or at DH today. He's not hitting the ball very well, but he has a very good history against Mitch Keller. Are you surprised they haven't given him? I guess they haven't shifted things around more to maybe get things going with Wilson.
I'll get to that in a second, because I looking at this, I did have some thoughts on that. I want you look up real quick. What?
Victor Scott being behind Pedro Pages?
No, not that.
Okay.
I look up real quick to see if Nootbaar started in right field in one of those first games here in St. Louis. Quickly though, I wanted to get the Pirates lineup out there. Jack Sawinski is in center. Brian Reynolds DHs. Andrew McCutchen is in right. Joey Bart catching. Cabrian Hayes at third. Endy Rodriguez at first. Adam Frazier at second. Tommy Pham in left. And Chang starting at short for the Pirates.
Lars Nootbaar has not started in right field. It's been left field and batting first in all the games he's started. Obviously, he didn't start yesterday. So, yeah.
So I think it is telling that you look at this lineup today, Wilson Contreras DHing again. And yesterday also DHing. So we have reached the point now where, we with Mason Wynn at the beginning of the year, in spring training, he struggled so much that he dropped down and he's hitting ninth. It took till at some point towards the end of spring training for the Cardinals to make that decision that, all right, he's not going to be our leadoff guy. We're dropping him down to the end of the lineup. We're at the point now with Wilson Contreras struggles where they are starting to, it seems to me that they're starting to toy with ideas of how to get him right, how to get the offense back right. And so far in the, 6 games, I think 6 games that he has started at first base this year, there have been 0 issues with him defensively.
No, not at all.
At first base. The one mishap Monday night where he and Pozo collided, which again, I think that's his ball all the way, being the first baseman in that situation. So not on him at all. But there have been 0 defensive mishaps that I've seen out of Wilson Contreras at first base that shows that anything defensively is the reason why he's not hitting. He is just ice cold right now at the plate. So I think they're just giving him the option to just, hey, all you're doing is hitting. Yeah. All you're doing today is hitting. You're gonna DH for now for this. So this is 2 games in a row, and you're not losing anything with Alec Burleson at first base. You're not. So,
I don't think so.
No, I don't.
I wonder how much is it too if a guy like Brant Brown's getting through to your group like this. You're just saying that during the game, Wilson can kind of now sit with Brant Brown and he can be looking at video.
Yeah,
they can. I'm sure if I had to guess, they will have, because I know Contreras is. I know it's like 330 or something like that against Keller. I'm blanking on the exact numbers, but they will probably have the video cuts of all the previous at-bats that Keller has had versus Contreras or matchups. And so Contreras now during the defense can just be sitting there on the iPad, just going through every pitch that Mitch Keller has ever thrown him, working with Brant Brown and being like, if this is a game to lock me back in, we're going to take some extra time and I'm going to get there. I'm not sure if that's 100% the plan, but it seems like that could be part of the plan, and I like that.
Wilson Contreras 19 at-bats against Mitch Keller in his career with an OPS of 1,162. Lars Nootbaar 15 at-bats against Mitch Keller with an OPS of 1217.
Yeah,
so
Eric
top of the lineup has hit him really well. Donovan OPS of 744, Burleson an OPS of 808 against him. Pedro Pages 2 for 6 against Mitch Keller in his career. The entire Cardinal roster, it looks like, has had success against him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the lineup today have homered against Mitch Keller.
Sontag's got us for us in the chat. 30 for 107 lifetime versus Keller is the lineup. 280 average, 5 home runs, and a plus 800 OPS. Eric Sontag of the Domesticated Gamblers filling us in with the numbers there.
Yeah. And so that's so all of that, look forward to that this morning. I do, and I had this thought as I see Contreras DHing now for the second time. If they're trying this hard to get him out of his funk, how long before they maybe say, you know what, put on the gear and catch a game and hit and see if that breaks you out of it too. That'd be extreme. But with Ivan Herrera now out, it does, and I think, open the door a little more to see him possibly catch an inning or two.
And we also saw Ivan Herrera's injury statement be at least 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me is wondering, is the at least 4 weeks to be a batter yet? And then, do we have a week long where he can't catch and he can only DH because it's just the bone bruise factor with him having to get up and down, him having to be on his knees is too much, where he's like, I can hit, but I can't play catcher. And I wonder if at that point they are forced to say, hey, Wilson, we can't keep carrying Pozo because we want Herrera to get work back in as a hitter. You got to put the equipment back on.
If you have Herrera just as a hitter in this lineup and this roster, then you have 2 guys, him and Luke and Baker, that all they can do is hit from the right side.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
so that's
what you can put Baker at first base.
You can, but then again, but then your idea of Contreras catching. I mean, that's true. They said they said it on the broadcast last week. It's a break glass situation for Contreras to possibly catch this year.
But I'm saying that's the situation we're into, where Herrera can't catch, and like you're saying, you have Contreras available. Maybe Pozo doesn't do anything more than that home run, and now you're trying to get any offense you can from the catcher spot. You're going to get Wilson Contreras going in any way you can. Maybe that's the roundabout way you kind of fit in there. By the way, Brian Ellison, I like Scott the second starting at the top of the lineup. Scott the second is swinging the bat. Does it jump out to you that he's below Pages in the lineup?
No, I think they're slowly starting to work him up. I think we're slowly starting to see him get moved up and up further and further in that lineup. Hey, this is Cards Hub 365 presented by Gray Bar, also presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Baseball season officially underway. It's time to step up to the plate with DraftKings Pick 6. Think of DraftKings Pick 6 as your fastball right down the middle. It's the easiest way to play for cash and take a shot at a big win. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Before we wrap up here today, I like this comment too. You could argue the pitching was average right now, 10-1 on the season. Yeah, 100% agree with that. We have seen a lot of games slip through their hands early on with that. I was getting worried last night in the ninth when JoJo came out there and gave up those hits to start. But yeah, 10-1. You know what? Win this game today. Saw a prediction there, 8-2 win. A prediction there in the YouTube chat. I know Brooke and Randy will have plenty leading up to this game today when they start their show here in just a few minutes. But you get the win today. You get back to 500. You come back to St. Louis, a little better weather than what you've been playing in. I cannot stand watching baseball games. This is throughout all of Major League Baseball, right? This isn't just
universal
the St. Louis.
Thing? Okay.
I cannot stand turning on these games and seeing just constant players playing in the hoods or the headgear, the long sleeves. Just get me away from that.
Does the balaclava really bother you that much?
Just get me to 80-degree weather, 70-degree weather, just short sleeve, t-shirt or short sleeves. And I'm sick of watching baseball where it looks like everybody out there playing is absolutely miserable.
I like the
in those
balaclava look.
environments. Get me away from that. I don't want to see it anymore. I'm done with it. Get me to the 70-degree weather. This also coming from a guy that has to go coach 11-year-olds this weekend.
We're getting to it
on Friday night
See,
at
there
8
it
p.m.
is.
I don't want to be standing out in that either. I'll have the hand warmers in my hoodie pockets. Hey, Randy Carricker, Brooke Grimsley are coming up at 10 a.m. So make sure you smash that subscribe button so you get the notifications when they go live here at 10 a.m. This has been Cards Hub 365. If you missed any of it, you can go back and watch it before the first pitch at 11:35 a.m. today. He is Matt Rocchio. I'm Joe Roderick. This has been Cards Hub 365, presented by Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs here on Sports Hub STL, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Nicely done.